the National State Youth Football Media Interviews. Today I'm here with Ben Virnig, and he's a running back slash linebacker out of Wisconsin, I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, sir. How are you doing today, Ben?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing really good today. I feel like we should just start off this interview because I saw how you responded on Twitter and all the love and support that you were showing me. So we kind of had to give it back in some type of way. So,
Yep.
firstly, I just want to ask you, how did you start playing football, and when did you start?
So like a really long time ago, so our school, how it works, it like second and third grade, there's like a little bit of flag football. I'm in like a smaller school.
Hmm.
And then at the time it was fourth through sixth grade, had like a middle school team, and then seventh and eighth grade was a team,
Hmm.
and then JV, then varsity. So even though I'm from Wisconsin, I've like been a Carolina Panther fan as long as I can remember. And Steve Smith was like always my favorite player, and like he always got me into playing the game. So then I joined flag football, and just I don't know what it was. Since I joined that, like my favorite sport's been football, and it's like every single year I look forward to doing it. And I started in second grade, and I played flag football through second and third grade. And then I joined tackle football in fourth grade, fifth grade, played through sixth grade, and then all through fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh grade, we won one game out of all those seasons.
Oh
And
my gosh.
our team was just terrible. And I had this drive every single year, like we got to win a game, we got to win a game. And I just knew last year we were gonna do it. And me and my friend, we were the two running backs, and like one game he had like 7 touchdowns, and I had like 4 touchdowns and 5 touchdowns, and it was just crazy. We just had a
Jeez,
complete
man.
blowout season. We went 3-3 last year actually, and I ended my season with like a season-ending injury, even if like it could have been the first game, and I was just done. I was the kick returner, and the ball it was like a squib, so it like bounced over the second line, so it like went over the first line, hit the ground, and bounced over the second line, but the blocker in front of me just completely got out of the way. The kid came flying at me. He was like double my size.
Oh
I
gosh.
keep I'm 5'11", 6 foot, and I weigh like 152,
Hmm.
and this kid was double my size. He just came flying, and when he hit me, I was bent down and just like folded me like a lawn chair.
Oh my gosh.
So that ended my season. But the highlights on my Twitter are actually from our last home game. That was our second to last game, and had to be like my best game. I had one 95-yard touchdown, and then I had a couple real long runs. I had like 4 touchdowns and over 400 yards completely, like scrimmage yards,
That's
and it's just
yeah, that's actually insane. You
yeah.
actually knocked down like maybe 2 or 3 of the questions that I was gonna ask you eventually. So, that kind of helped me out a lot.
Yeah.
You knocked down your model player, which you said was Steve Smith, right?
Yep.
And your favorite team, obviously the Carolina Panthers.
Yep.
Is there a reason that you like the Panthers, or is that just
Yeah.
like a
No, yeah. So when I was like 4 years old, I remember I think it was I can't remember so since I'm from Wisconsin, my parents actually own a restaurant. I remember I was watching TV, and it was the Packers versus the Panthers, and I don't know what it was. I just like saw the colors, and just like the blue and the black. I don't know what it was, and just ever since then, I've been a Panthers fan.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's really cool. I mean, I like the Panthers. I'm not a
Yeah,
Panthers fan, but I definitely like the Panthers. I like their color scheme, and I like
yeah,
what they're doing
yeah,
lately. I mean,
yeah,
McCaffrey's doing really good. He's kind of hurt
yeah,
though, so it's
yeah.
not really
Hopefully, he
good.
doesn't blow his quad out again. And
Sheesh, that's
yeah,
not fun. So you already said your favorite team in the NFL. What about maybe college? Do you have a favorite team in that aspect?
college. So, back to a while ago. I always remember, and I loved watching like the championship games, like the Clemson and Alabama rivalry. It
Mm.
was every single year, and I like all those couple of years. I just wanted to be a Clemson Tiger so bad, all those years, and I was like, oh, I want to go to Clemson. But now that I think about it, like I come from a smaller school. It's not like Clemson's just going to show up and see me and, oh, you want to come and get a scholarship and stuff like that. Like, I'm like trying my best to get noticed and stuff like that. And I'd go to any, like, if I could get I'm gonna be honest, if I could get a scholarship from any college to go play football, I'd go to it. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, that's a very
yeah,
good mindset. That's definitely the way that a lot of people should be thinking, especially someone from a small school like yourself, that it's almost it's more of a realistic take that, most of these big schools, I mean, unless,
yeah,
from these interviews, someone might see that, and then eventually hopefully you might get one of those big schools.
yeah,
But it's a realistic take. Small school, you'll definitely get a scholarship because from the stats you were just listing, you definitely have the talent, Division 1 talent. But I don't think that a big school. I mean, a big school's obviously gonna see you. That's the goal of these whole
yeah,
interviews and all that
yep.
stuff.
Hopefully,
Yeah, of course. And we try to um just up the chances of that happening. So
yeah,
definitely, I think that you're gonna, Clemson hopefully might look at one of these, and you'll
yeah,
you'll
yeah,
be meeting up with them. I don't even know who that coach of Clemson is right now, but you'll definitely see him in the near future. Uh,
yeah.
um, once you do make it to Clemson, right? How do you lead? How would you lead a team, and what is your definition of leadership?
I mean, leadership it's more than just like being there and being the best on the field. It's being a teammate is more of being the best player on the field. It's you have to be. I'd rather be the best teammate than the best player on the field.
Hmm.
If it doesn't matter how good you are, how good your teammates are, if your team cannot work together, you're not gonna have a good team. And it's just the fact of if someone's not paying attention or if you're trying to do something and they're not doing what you should be doing, and you just got to bring like a more competitive mindset to the team than a lot of other people have if you want to be a captain. And
Yeah, I mean that's definitely one of the best answers I've heard. That you kind
yeah,
of it's more than being someone on the field than being off the field.
yeah,
Being a good person off the field is definitely, in my personal opinion, it's one of the better qualities of being a leader.
yeah,
And I see myself as a leader for my team, and I think that definitely the definition of leadership is kind of pretty much what you said. It's you have to realize that you have to keep your teammates in check. You have to make sure that they all are on the same page.
yeah,
It's
yep,
not just 11 parts of the field. You know what I mean? It's all one part of the field, and you all have to share that as a team, and you have to be aware of what's going on at all times, and
yeah.
what's happening. So that's definitely a really good thing you just said. Definitely. Next question. Once you do make it big, or once you do eventually make it out, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
what are your goals, and what do you want to do to help give back to the community?
I mean, obviously, like, I don't understand from some of these NFL players and big, like, even big college players, if you got full ride scholarships and you still have all this money ready for college, like, why would you just keep all this stuff to yourself? Like, there's
Mm.
more people in the world than just you that might need this money, or, like, giving, like, look at JJ Watt and stuff like that. Like, the things that he does is just, like, immaculate to see.
Yeah.
Like St. Jude's and stuff like that. And I mean, wherever you're at, I mean, JJ Watt, when he was in Texas with all the floods and stuff like that and the hurricanes, like, he gave back so much to the community. I'm pretty sure, like, he won the Walter Payton Man of the Year award that year
Yeah.
and
You
all
did.
that type of stuff.
Yeah, that's definitely, kind of inspirational. It's someone to look up to, like JJ Watt,
Yeah,
because all this money can't just, like, you can't just live off of that, because it gets to a
yeah,
point where you just have nothing to do with it, and it's just sitting there. So why not, just give back to the community financially, and just
yeah,
help with,
yeah,
like, events like what, the hurricanes and stuff like that.
yeah,
So that's definitely something that is, very influential to a community or a society of people. Um,
yeah,
that's not really leading into my next question, but my next question is going to be what do you say your strengths and weaknesses are as a player, and where do you think you can improve?
So my strengths are 100% my like I just love contact. Everything
Mm.
about hitting. Like I was gonna post a couple on my Twitter, but the quality is so bad because I recorded it off a TV.
Oh,
Like I just had my phone, I was recording off TV,
yeah.
and some most of like all the film from last year's deleted besides the ones on my Twitter and one other game which we didn't play that great in.
Mm.
Um, and for some reason all the middle school film is just deleted off of it. But there was a couple games where I was just crazy because I love everything about contact. Like I went to the University of Duluth in Minnesota, and I went there and I went there as a running back, and for all the competitive drills we had to go against the middle linebackers. And me going into my freshman year at the time, which is still this year, the youngest middle linebacker in that group was going to be a junior. Yeah,
I can
so
kind of just
and
imagine how that would
and
have.
and we were doing the drills, and one of them was actually it was like you got lined up about 15 yards back from the goal line. Linebacker was at about 10, and you just picked your move if you wanted to cut in, try to run through them, and every single time, I didn't care how big they were. I just loved getting contact and blocking. That's another strength that I have, and I'm actually, it's gonna sound really weird, but I'm like I have the best hands on my whole team.
Mm.
And we play 8-man football because we have such a small school, and 8-man football, it's like unless you're a bigger school that has like a more fluent offense, you're barely going to pass because we don't really have a quarterback that can throw the ball.
Mm.
Last year was our very last year of having him. He graduated. So,
Yeesh, that's
yeah.
I've never really heard of an 8-man concept. I've always heard of a pass heavy offense. I've heard of
Yep.
like a mixed batch. You know what I mean? But I've never
Yeah.
heard of like a run only team. And
That's
that must
pretty much what it is, yeah.
yeah, that must feel good as a running back to be getting all the carries.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. Did you say you had any weaknesses, or do you think that
Oh,
just
no, I am not flawless. I'll say that much.
Mhm.
Yeah, my weaknesses is one thing I definitely could work on is speed. Granted I'm not slow, but speed is just a huge thing. Like
Yeah.
when it comes to speed, like yeah, I'm not slow, but because of me, all I want is contact and hitting and stuff like that. I've never really worried about speed because
Mm.
I was in an 8-man concept. It was like, what was it? It was more of a in an 8-man concept. There's a spin back who is the quarterback, and then you're a wing back, and a wing back is more of a fullback,
Yeah.
and then the halfback is more of a running back type player. And
Yeah.
I was the wing back the whole year because of that.
Yeah.
And it like we'd run it with the halfback every single time, and then the second it would change so hard when I would get the ball because anytime we were in a bad situation, with the tailback, the halfback at the time, my friend Aaron, he's a track athlete, so
Mm.
he runs like a 12-8 10 or 12-8 100 meter
Oh
or
my
like a 12-7
gosh.
100 meter.
That's kind of
Um,
crazy.
So every single time that we're like in deep problem, like just try to give it to him outside, and if he couldn't get it, then well, whatever, we tried.
Yeah.
But my friend actually, I can't remember how the ball. I think it was they punted. We drove them all the way back. They're like 4th and 15. They had to punt, and they punted and they dropped it like right on like the 3-yard line.
Mm.
And the Park Falls, which like the first highlight on my Twitter tape, is they're so used to the tailback just getting it every single time to the right. Well, we completely switched it, and we sent it with me right up the gut.
Oh my
I just
gosh.
sent it back for like 97 yards, and
Oh
it was
my.
just
Oof.
great. It was just amazing, dude.
Yeah, that must feel really good. Always breaking as a lineman myself, breaking a big run is like like a job
Yeah.
well done. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe I was the one that opened up the hole. Maybe it was the other
Yeah.
tackle. When the line
Yeah.
works like that, and when the running back follows along, it's always it's always a really good showing of teamwork, and it's just it really does look. It's fundamental football at that point because the
Yeah.
linemen are always trying to open these holes, and sometimes the back will just like run outside, and like
Yeah.
there's so many people outside. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's really cool that 97 yards. That's definitely that's a distance.
Yeah.
I couldn't run 97 yards in a good day. But yeah, maybe do you have anything else to say to the public before we cap off this interview?
Not really. I mean, just I've been one thing that I'm actually really happy I've been doing lately is working out a whole lot more last season. So right now, I'm like 5'11 and a half, about 5'11, and I weigh 152.
Hmm.
And last year I was 5'10, 135.
Oh.
So through like elementary school and like sixth grade, I was like a bigger kid. I was kind of chubby.
Hmm.
And then I realized, like, when seventh grade came around, I was like, dude, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get put at running back this year. Like, I gotta start cutting. But then I cut so
Yeah.
hard. I went to 135, and that's how I played my eighth grade year of football. And I joined powerlifting, and we started hitting the weight room heavy, and I've been doing it ever since. I got up. Just if you're trying to be better, always hit the weight room. That's
Of
all I gotta
course.
say. Just
You
hit the weight
know,
room.
weight
The
room is
weight room.
always.
Yeah, the weight room
Yeah.
makes average athletes good athletes, if not great athletes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've been hitting the weight room a lot more. I used to be
Yeah.
actually a lot bigger than I am now. I used to be. I mean, currently I'm like 280, but I used to be
Hmm.
like 295, and I used to look like a panda. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
I'm kind of happy with what the weight room did to me, and how it evolved me, and
hmm
how it shaped how it shapes a lot of people.
yeah,
Because you look at some of these transformations you'll see on like Instagram or something, and
yeah.
it's amazing how like maybe 6 months or something could turn someone from
Oh
300
yeah,
pounds to maybe 220, and they
yeah,
look like a
yeah,
completely different person. So it's definitely good to hear that you're getting bigger. Getting bigger
yeah,
at the running back position. You definitely do need some bulk, especially if you love contact like that. And
yeah,
that's
yeah,
definitely that's a really good thing that you're getting in the weight room. Showing that work ethic, showing that power, and
yeah.
yeah, that's really the whole interview. This has been the National State Media Football Youth Interviews. This has been I'm Joe Russo.